Like it was just so physically demanding.
Yeah.
And then you still eat, like I was eating so much shit, like donuts and pies and Coke and still losing weight.
That's all you get.
Well, because you just go get it on the way to the next job or.
Yeah. I was eating the poor man lunch, which is, get your bang for your buck, get your sausage roll, put it in another bread roll, cover it in tomato sauce.
I was talking about double carbs the other day with someone. So is this all good? Yeah. I was talking about double carbs, and that's how you want to get fat. That's you put carbs in carbs, chips in bread, sausage rolls in bread. Yeah. Well, it worked.
Yeah, it did. It did. So no, it was good. And I think that was the one thing that I realized when I was doing that it was super physical and it was destroying me. Like it was good when I was in my 20s because I was building muscle and building strength, and I had the ability. I was fit enough to do it all. So later, when after doing 10 years of commercial concrete, where it all changed, but I learned a hell of a lot. Learned everything to do with concrete from there. When I started, doing my own house slabs and driveways and things like that, I had a bit of a team and it was great, but keeping the staff was always hard because, they were in and out pretty quickly. They would either move or, weren't getting paid enough, wanted to do their own thing. So just the turnover was pretty hard, and generally getting concreters as good ones is
well, they're an interesting beast from what I understand. Like,
yeah, it's a different kettle of fish.
And I worked at, so that job, my job that I worked at last, so my last employment was at a landscape supplies yard. And so we were dealing with concreters and plasterers and tilers and brickies. And yeah, concreters are, I guess, a unique breed. And even here, I know how hard it is for the lands, because the landscapers, a lot of them contract the concrete. So if they've got exposed or burnished, whatever, a concrete company will come in and do it. For a lot of them, not many of them have their own crews. And even just to get reliable businesses that are actually going to get there, do what they say they're going to do when they're going to be there, stick to the price, like all that shit. And it's just like, what are you going to do, mate? And I don't know. I'm going to leave and not finish it. Like, you got concrete here.
Everyone's seen those TikToks of those guys getting around with pickaxes after someone doesn't pay and just hacking it to bits. But so sort of, I don't know. I just wanted to get into something where I was getting the job satisfaction out of it and not having to have the huge amount of staff, not having to have the huge amount of overheads, something where I could spend more time with my family. As I just started having a family. So it was renovating a home. So I wanted to make sure I had some time to do that sort of stuff as well. I didn't want to be spending all day, Saturday, Sunday, working on a house and then going back and working on everyone else's houses. So, just sort of picked up the architectural thing and started doing that in my own renovations. And then, sure enough, next door neighbour or a mate would say, "Oh, that is epic. I didn't know you could do that with concrete. You want to do something for me?" And just sort of snowballed. And then Hungry Wolf Studio sort of came about. So
you were working for someone, like some universal balance shit just happened and you found this job. How long did you work for them for?
I worked for a couple of companies. So I did one for 5 years, and then I went into, moved up into the city, into Melbourne, and started working on commercial sites, and went from a small company that it was to, they had over 200 staff and was sort of up there running a lot of the projects.
Like multi-story slabs?
Yeah, multi-story, a lot of high-rise, a lot of big commercial stuff, a lot of school projects, all government work. Learned a lot, which was really good. But
did you do an apprenticeship? Was that, or it was really, there isn't a concrete? One. Yeah.
No.
So to be qualified as a concreter, this is probably one of the challenges of your industry, that anyone can call themselves a concreter.
It's kind of funny, isn't it? Because you've got, a whole house that gets built that has to have qualified carpenters, plumbers, electricians. Yet you can just
the slab in which it sits on that houses a lot of that pipe work. Yeah, that stops access to the plumbing. Does just as long as
I mean, they just required the inspection, so you've just got to get your pre-slab done and then obviously get the steel inspection and make sure it's all in there.
That which is fine. That's the engineering of the steel. But what if you shit at the next stage?
Yeah,
and I've seen some horrors. You see them, I guess, the current affair ones where the slabs aren't level and
you'll get some guys that go and do a heap of driveways and they'll lay all the steel, take all the photos and then rip it up, take it to the next house, lay it down there and do the same. So people are getting driveways with heavy steel in it. And yeah, so yeah, look, it's a bit of a cowboy trade, and it's definitely not everyone. I certainly didn't want to be that, and then that was the whole idea. I wanted to create some sort of training platform where people can get, the right teaching, the right advice, and be able to do good quality work.
Because it's hard to learn. So you obviously evolved across from doing slabs and commercial, starting your own business doing slabs.
Yeah,
and then obviously got frustrated and then moved into architectural.
Yeah,
and you kind of had to teach yourself.
Yeah,
so there's no way anyone, like, short of actually investing the money and going and making all your own seats and benches and working it out yourself, there's no other way to do that other than, I guess, courses and working for someone else.
Yeah, well, or if you're in the way I did it was renovating a house. So we were renovating, we turned over some properties, and all of those properties I jammed as much, feature concrete stuff in there as I possibly could.
And it wasn't over the top, like it was still.
No, it definitely wasn't over the top. I think
you know what I mean. Like you could be like, okay, dude, we get it. Like you know how to use concrete. You didn't need to make a bath. Like
I've done those, but it's just more the. I just enjoyed doing it. So I loved doing it, and it looked good. And
internally as well. So like kitchen benches and
a lot of internal stuff, fireplace hearths and things like that. It was just something I just really enjoyed doing, and I just found a passion for it and went, if I can get enough of this sort of work, then maybe I can not have, the 10 employees and the big overheads, and also just get the job satisfaction working with good clients.
Yeah, I guess slabs can only bring you so much, right? Like,
yeah, and the thing is, you're out there. There's no roof. Like if you're out doing slabs and doing driveways, and you're so weather dependent. Whereas once I started especially in Victoria,
you lose what 40% of your days probably.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, or it's the wind, or it's way too hot, So I just found like starting to put concrete inside, I was getting way better finishes on the concrete too, because it was just such a controlled environment.
Because the weather was set at 23 degrees and
it just sat in the shade all day. It was beautiful. So you can spend the time working it. Not to say that you can't outside. You just got to use different admixtures and things like that to sort of give you the hand that you need to get it done if it's boiling hot, or get some stuff in it to speed it up if it's freezing cold. So
you when you're, and this is for an audience that's not in the industry. So when you're ordering that product, you'll have the additives added to suit the mix or the blend. Like you add certain things to make it set slower.
Well, the concrete companies in general, the big ones will do that. That's what they do.
As in they'll adjust to suit the day.
Yeah,
they'll know what you're doing, and they'll.
Yeah, generally, unless you ask for something specific. So now that I'm up in northern New South Wales, it's a massive part of what they do. So as soon as it's hot, you're getting all these retardants and things like that to put in the concrete so it just doesn't dry. And
so they can't just make it sloppier because then you can't work it, or it's just going to come out the.
Yeah, the more water you add, I mean, that concrete's that product, right? You start adding a lot of water, it's going to be super easy to put in. It's going to take you so long to finish it, but all that water's got to come out. So that's when you end up getting lots of cracks and things like that. So you don't want to have your concrete going in too wet, because then it's just opening Pandora's box for a multitude of.
And you'll see it as soon as it gets there and go, this is too wet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What do you do? Send it back?
I will. Yeah.
You just won't take it.
I just won't accept it. No, because it's not what I ordered.
You can't. Yeah. For what you're doing.
Yeah. So, but no, it's good fun.
So you were in Victoria and made the decision to move. You mentioned family before and spending time with family. Talk me through that process or that decision. So, why did you leave?
Oh, well, there was a certain bloke in a North Face jacket which I wasn't too fond of through COVID.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm thinking, hang on a sec. So this was during the lockdowns.
Well, we always wanted to move north eventually, but
it just kind of accelerated it.
It just kind of accelerated it, yeah. So, I mean, everyone was jumping on the bandwagon. It's funny actually now where I live, how many people I know that have moved up from either Sydney or Melbourne. And and everyone that I speak to about it, would you go back? And they're all like, nah, not a chance. No, absolutely love it. And it's going crazy up there, but which is good because it's, I'm busy now again as well and things. But yeah, the whole thing was getting out. We just got finished COVID, lockdown's finished. We got an RV, put the 3 kids and my wife in it, and we just drove up the east coast of Australia till we got to Queensland, and they said, "No, you're not coming in. Borders are shut." It was raining that day. We went down the coast, down a couple of little back roads, found a little town, and that was it. We said to the kids, "What do you reckon?" And they said, "Yep." And that was it.
So you were able to leave Victoria.
Yep.
You went into New South Wales.
Yep.
Trying to get into Queensland. Palaszczuk is obviously just as bad as your premier at the time. So you got stuck there.
Yeah.
And so you could have ended up going even further north, but due to that border.
We were looking at sort of southeast Queensland, but ended up in northern New South Wales.
And at that point weren't looking to, so you were just scouting for potential places to live or just getting away just to kind of get away?
Kind of a bit of both. You know, it was always in the back of our mind to do it. But after our trip, you know, we ended up getting an email from a real estate agent who, you know, someone's finance fell through. So we ended up buying the house we're in now without even seeing it. So
because you wanted to live in that area?
Yeah, we just thought it was a great place for kids and things like that to grow up, somewhere where I can spend more time with them, focus more on the days with the courses, with the business, and also spend a bit more time with the wife. So,
how old were the kids when you made the move?
I had a grade 5, a grade 3, and a 2-year-old. So
the 2-year-old was basically born into COVID.
He was a COVID baby.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was one of the things too, you know, getting out was like, that was tough. So I had my son born and then I lost my dad within like, you know, a couple of weeks of each other. Couldn't go to my dad's funeral.
I was going to say, this is back when funerals were.
It was, he was in regional Victoria. So it was so tricky. It was just had a bit of a mental breakdown personally. And was just, there's got to be more. Let's give it a go. And the beauty with, you know, sort of the business that I've developed is it's concrete. It's the second most used product in the world, second to water.
I was going to say, and the first most used product in the world's in it.
Yeah, that's right. So it was, it's one of those things that it was just, all right, I'll start again. Because, I mean, I left a lot of stuff here, especially when, you know, your architect's specified by a lot of companies and you sort of got to let them down in a way, but you got to take family first. And, you know.
Was there a period where you were flying back down or driving back down to Victoria to do work, or like because they had?
Not really.
So you just cut and run and.
Did. Yeah, I did. So I used to do a little bit of work up in around Byron Bay and stuff anyway, here and there. And then also I'm lucky enough to be back in Adelaide today. Absolutely love it. Good seeing.
The weather's not too bad today. It should be hotter than it is today, but you're still wearing shorts and thongs, so you obviously flew in optimistically. But
I did. But yeah, it's a good thing to be able to still get around the country a little bit, but also with the courses now, I've got so many students that all around Australia and also the world that it's epic to see they can take up work. I'm giving, you know, work away to these guys, recommending them.
If they're in Victoria and then one of your architects calls you like, actually, I've got a guy that's done a lot of this already.
Yep.
He's good to go.
Yep.
You can trust him. I've seen his work.
Yeah, that's right. And it's going really well. So it's good. And they're loving it because, you know, like we mentioned before with concreters being concreters, there's so many of them that were like me that just wanted to do something different, something where they get the job satisfaction, something where, you know, they can implement this stuff in their homes and grow their business, put it on the side. Even builders and landscapers are doing them. Architects are doing it. It's great because it's just all of a sudden you're just creating this whole nother, lifting a level of industry standards, which is really good.
Did you see, or do you have, an opinion about the increase of the product being used inside houses off the back of that silica ban? So obviously you know how the kitchen benches can't be installed as that, I don't know, the end of last year or the last financial year. I don't know when it was, but
that's right.
Did that like, are people that are concrete's probably not a bad thing, or?
Yeah, I mean it is, and there's also I've worked with another company as well, sort of, and they've developed a silica-free concrete as well.
Yep. So that you can actually finish it properly.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, the industry's changing.
Oh, so concrete had silica in it, so it was affected by the same ban.
Not particularly, because it wasn't getting manufactured in shops, and it wasn't getting cut inside shops and things like that. So you can still put concrete in, wear the appropriate PPE, but the finishes that I do on the concrete generally don't require you to even have a mask on.
Because you're just burnishing, or
you are just troweling it till it's a mirror the day you pour it. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
We've got a concrete bench. We had our backyard was done, and I haven't been able to find. I guess I struggle with the fact that concrete cracks, and I know this would be the bane of your existence, but my driveway had cracked within, I don't know, a month or 3 weeks, and I was like, it's fucking cracked, and they're like, concrete cracks. I'm like, I probably shouldn't have put concrete in. Then my bench out the back, like, because there's a barbecue and a wood oven on it, it's just covered in shit. Have you found, I don't know, is there techniques that you are employing that are causing things to crack less, or it's just the reality of the product? And
definitely. It's your steel's got to be right. It's got to be sitting at the right level and right height of the concrete. It's got to be the right size steel for the jobs you're doing.
And you just work that out from trial and error with benches?
Definitely. And I find with benches, I mean, a lot of people call me to do concrete benches because they don't want a piece of stone that has a joint in the middle of the bench top. They want, a 4, 5, 6 meter, 7 meter, 10 meter long bench without a single joint in it. Obviously, the bigger you go, the more chances you're going to get that that's going to crack in somewhere or some shape. But generally, they're just little hairline cracks. And,
well, that's all mine are. It's not like it's snapped or anything. But
no, that's right. You just put the right amount of steel in it and make sure that it's all good. So.
What about sealants? Are you an advocate for sealant? Do you, I guess, if you're burnishing, do you like to just leave the bench raw?
Definitely always seal concrete. Always. Different sealers for different things. So we work with Guard Industries, which are, a global company. And we rep their sealers. They're fantastic. So that's what we use. They've got a heap of different ranges and things like that. So yeah, it's really good.
What was the reason that you went into creating courses? Like, did someone highlight the idea to you, or was it you were looking for even less hands-on and more time at home? Or?
Look, there's always that financial benefit of having something that's online where you're not physically having to work for the money. But the whole idea is more so to someone not have to go through all the stuff that I had to go through to figure out how to make a concrete bench or to do floating concrete stairs. Because, our Instagram is quite popular, and forever getting questions and DMs on how do you do this? And you just can't physically put the time out to do it. So,
so creating a community or a school. What platform have you got is the course on? Like, where's it hosted? Do you know? Like, as in, there's like Kajabi School. There's like all these different platforms. This is just a sickening curiosity thing.
That's a question for my wife.
Okay.
No.
So you just the videos, she populates them onto the school, to the platform. You make the videos, she posts them.
Yeah.
Manages the community, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So it's all a digital download. So once you sign up to the courses, we've got a barbecue benchtop course and fire pit seating and a floating stairs course. So once you get those, then you get instant access to our Facebook pages for those particular
like private groups.
Yeah. And that's where you really get the benefit of the courses, because you've got all these people, yes, some concreters, yes, some builders, yes, people who have never touched concrete, but
just wanted to do the course.
Don't want to have to outlay that amount of money to get someone to produce it. So they're having a go, and it's so satisfying. Like, yeah, it's really, really good. So just love it.
That's pretty interesting. We the reason I was asking about we're looking to do some courses internally for staff training, and I've just been looking at different platforms, and I thought it'd be interesting if you did know, but you can suss it out from your wife after the podcast.
We can edit that in somewhere.
Just post it in post-production. Look, it was more for me than the audience, I guess.
Yeah.
So moving into northern New South Wales, I'm guessing there's enough money in that area that people are doing this kind of work enough.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're sort of caught right in between Byron Bay and the Gold Coast, so you can sort of go half an hour either way into the bigger jobs, which is a hell of a lot better than what I was doing, being down on the Mornington Peninsula and spending an hour and a half to get to Brighton every day, and then traffic. Maybe 2 hours or 2.5 hours to get home on a Friday, when all you want to do is get home, put your hoodie on, watch the footy, and have a couple of beers.
It still blows my mind. Like we mentioned Joel before from InStyle before the podcast. The fact that he drives from Geelong into Melbourne to do anything, like I just don't understand the comfort level of driving. And Adelaide's such a 20-minute city that we just opened another location that's 28 minutes from my house, and we've got one that's an hour. And I'm just like, far out, 28 minutes. That's so far away. Like, because this from my house is like 18 or 15.
Yeah.
And my other location's 16. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's convenient. Like, that's easy. I'll just shoot down there. But then you've got, obviously Dylan's sitting there just going, I fucking drive 45 minutes for this shit on a good day. But then there's like cities where it's 2 hours.
Yeah.
Or it's 2 hours on a train.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And the one thing with Melbourne as well, geez, you got to pay for all those roads that you're sitting there doing zero on. Just used to drive me nuts. So, I couldn't get out of there quick enough, to be honest, and never looked back.
So when you left Victoria, what were the things that you were concerned about, that such as like finding more work or the kids? I don't know. You move. You worry about your kids finding friends.
I think, it's also leaving all your friends. It's leaving all the people you grew up with. I left my mum, and I'm one of 9. I've got 5 brothers and 3 sisters. So left the family and moved up, and my wife did the same, and the kids did the same. So it was our little adventure to go and have a go. And then it's been nearly 3 years now, and it's all just gelled out.
Were you worried about not getting work, or
100%? Yeah,
because you didn't want to go back and work for someone. I'm guessing, like you wanted to keep running your business.
No. But it's just small town syndrome and stuff as well. When you come into an area and people didn't really like that or accept it in any way because you're the blow-in from COVID and that sort of stuff. But
in a country, or a rural or regional area,
yeah.
But it's not so much rural, is it? More regional.
More, and just more, I don't know. It was kind of a bit funny.
So what did you do to overcome that? Did you get involved in clubs and?
Absolutely, yeah. So just sponsor. So Hungry Wolf's studio sponsors like the local fishing club and things like that. Put a bit of stuff into the school, and it's good. And then all of a sudden you start meeting people, and I don't know, it happens pretty quickly, to be honest.
I guess
you just got to back yourself. You just got to have a go. If you want to do it, you can't just like keep putting it off and putting it off.
We talk about it. Like I talk about it more than my wife talks about it, but I'd love to live along where you are and probably higher. I don't know. I think Byron is probably not for me. I don't know. I'm probably a little bit too rough around the edges. It seems a bit, I don't know. It seems more pretentious now, but I've not been there, so it's hard. Like you can develop these opinions from.
It goes 2 ways. There's plenty of people that haven't put shoes on for 20 years.
Yeah. So, but just warmer climate. I really enjoy Cairns and even further north.
Yep.
And my wife hates humidity, so like she'd rather live in Tasmania, and I'm just like, I can't. we probably should have talked about this. I don't know. I've seen these like little handbooks that you can get when you start a new relationship with like 100 questions, and you kind of both fill it out. And you go, no, fuck, you want kids? I don't. You like cold weather? I don't. Like maybe this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that you say that, because I do think that we need to, if we're going to do it, I don't know, because our kids, my oldest starts high school next year.
Yep.
And I don't want to disrupt that. When I was younger, my mum got remarried and we moved, and then I was moved to another school and I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
And it really, I was a real dick about it. I was more of a dick about it than I should have been, but I was 9 years old? Yep. And when she ended up she got divorced after that 1 year, I think partially because of how I was. And then I just didn't want to do that to my kids. Yeah. But I'm guessing, so were your kids part of the conversation
Well,
Like the
my
older
eldest is the
ones.
same age as yours.
Yeah.
So she goes into year 7 next year as well. So we wanted to give them a couple of years. It was the perfect time because my youngest was 3 years away from starting school. So
Yeah, so that's
it was,
unaffected effectively.
yeah,
Then the middle child's low enough in the grades that they just, whoever's wearing the same whatever on the day, they're my new best friend.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like Chloe, our middle one, she couldn't go to school. So she barely went to school.
Oh, so she wouldn't have known anyone anyway.
No. So it was just one of those things.
So fucked.
It was the way to go. It was like push the button or we're going to miss the window sort of thing. So
I feel like we're on the other side of that window now.
Yeah.
No, legitimately. And I think
we never know. Trump just got elected. So the whole world could fall to shit or he could make it a better place.
It'll be amazing. I'm a fan. I'm a believer. Look, we're looking to launch Lawn Hub in the US soon, as soon as we can. There's a lot of work that needs to be done there. And I'm way more confident doing that with Trump in charge than Kamala. But I'm also deeply aware that I'll be paying a 20% tariff on everything I push into the country. Yeah. But I'd rather be pushing that in and paying a tariff. This is just my opinion, and I guess I'm yet to be proven right or wrong, because who knows? Everything that Trump said he was going to do, he may not do. Could be all have been fucking political spin, which is
fake news, folks.
Like you've seen, I guess, how much a leader can affect a city. You've been there. But I'd rather pay tariffs and be able to go to the country and feel safe than pay no tariffs and not feel safe in the country. And I that's quite reductive to make it just that.
Yeah.
But if everything that I believe is true, and not everything I believe is true, but around immigration, border control, war, I guess, I think countries should manufacture their own shit. I think it's,
big time.
We should more, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And there's ways to do that. So I'm a lot of that, but I believe in a lot of that.
Yep.
If it all goes in the right direction, great. And if it means I make less money, cool. Like I think that I don't know. I have a lot of faith in humans, like in general. Yep. And I think that, I guess regardless, the country probably would have been fine. Whichever way you go. It's the same here, right? Like,
yeah, that's right.
You pouring a bench next year does not, it's not affected by either party.
Oh, hell no.
Right?
No.
You still have to go do that.
Yes.
You have to make money. You have to protect your family. You have to, it's on you. Yeah. I just think that it's going to be, I think the country will be more in line with my beliefs. And that's probably the basis of it.
Yeah.
It's more in line with my beliefs under his leadership than the alternative. And there's 50% of the country or 50% of the world that would completely disagree with me.
Yeah. But you're sort of getting rid of the smoke and the mirror show,
So you went there, set up. I'm guessing you weren't doing a lot initially. You kind of just
no, which was great because it was the courses were getting done. We just bought our house.
Oh, so you could have then filmed the concrete into the houses.
Yeah,
into the house. So you bought the house.
Yeah, so
use that as the new canvas.
Yeah, that's right. So that's where our barbecue benchtop course was born. So was in our new place. It was the perfect property to be able to implement it. So it worked out really well. So
did you get that professionally filmed, or did you just do it yourself and just buy a camera?
We've got a pretty good videographer. He doesn't spend all his time sitting on the phone.
He'd be doing Instagram posts, mate.
I know.
He wouldn't be doing anything that's not work related.
Or
he's messaging his friends to gloat that he won $100 off me. So we made a bet during a podcast a while ago that I've called some pretty outlandish calls in the last 6 months. One of them was that Michelle Obama would be the next president of the US, but I bet him $100 that Biden would be dead before the election. And this is when he was still running then, I think. This is before they forced him to step down. I was like, he won't even get to the election. He'll be dead. And he's like, I bet he won't. I'm like, all right, $1,000. And he goes, and look, this is on video so people can check it, but it was, pump the brakes. We have different levels of income.
Oh, that's so
usually
good.
I can scare people away from taking a bet with just throw a big number and be like, and they're like, and he goes, he's like, I've been around you long enough. You know something I don't know. I'm not fucking taking this bet. Like, no, it's just how I feel about it.
I like it.
You listed three different things. I'm thinking, hey, there's probably more. I mean, the floating steps is pretty usable.
Yeah.
The bench is pretty usable.
Yeah.
And when you say a outdoor bench, is in like it's a table?
Well,
was part of a kitchen?
you can implement that into any way.
Okay, so it could be a barbecue surround. It could just be a
kitchen island bench.
Yep.
Could be
Was that the one with the rounded end?
Yeah,
I think I've seen it.
Yeah. I think we'll just do some more, just smaller course. I mean, a lot of people don't want to do that so much. They just want to be able to go finish concrete well.
So yeah, because I was going to say there's probably another level. Like you've gone out and just aimed for the stars and shot out these really high-end architectural, which is the kind of course that someone that's like Rob could go look at.
Oh, 100%.
Right? But there is that level. I remember this is going to make you throw up in your mouth. When I first started,
I've just had a coffee, so be careful.
Did you like it?
It was good.
Yeah, we don't mess around when it comes to coffee here. But yeah, so when I left that last job, we were just taking any work we could get. And so we're at this house in Modbury, I think, which is northeast. And we were doing something else there, and they're like, hey, do you think you could pour our concrete slab like in our shed? And my business partner at the time was just like, yeah, all right. Like we needed to get the work, and it would have been maybe 4 square meters. I reckon it was 2 by 2. And so we were hand mixing that in a barrow and just bringing it in and just working our way out, and had no idea what we were doing. And then like I think it got completely fucked up. We ended up having to get it out, and someone else ended up doing it. But someone's like, why wouldn't you just get a cement truck? I'm like, oh, we figured it was too small, and it was kind of like we'd quoted this. And
it's so funny. I was just yesterday chatting to a couple of guys doing some fence posts in Byron for a deck, and they're like, oh, I've got 10 bags, we'll have heaps. They got 3 holes done and then ran out of concrete
because it just gets absorbed.
Yeah, you just look like these bags go so much further than they do. You only get like 2 shovels or something out of one of those premix bags. So yeah, that pull up shop and then go back to Bunnings the next morning and finish it off.
Buy 3 times as much.
Yeah, that's right. And it sort of does get a bit expensive that way. I mean, concrete in general, it's like everything. Everything's going through the roof, right? Steel, concrete, materials.
What's a cubic meter of concrete worth where you are?
Oh, yesterday was like $900 and something.
For 1 cubic meter?
Yeah.
Far out.
Yeah.
Because of what it was.
Yeah, it was pure white concrete with white pebbles in it. So,
yeah, okay.
It's sort of like the most expensive concrete shelf, you could buy. Yeah. So, but when it's under your cubic meter, it's all right.
What are you doing with that? Like if it's got white pebbles, is that exposed or?
It will be honed, yeah. So through a whole heap of crushed bottles in it and green bottles, and there's a big mermaid fit out bar that we're working on. So we'll polish it all back. And
when you're mixing glass in like that, you're doing that yourself on site?
Yep.
Into it while it's already down?
Yeah.
I'm giving away your course guide here. Buy the course.
Certainly not doing crushed glass in the concrete course. But
so my first thought's like, if that's not consistent, that'll look shit. So are you because it needs to be random as well, right?
Oh,
so you need to make it look random. I just
got one of your lawn things
and just fucking scattered it. Yeah, everyone's wearing safety goggles at that point, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I bet.
How like you're talking really finely crushed?
Yeah,
yep.
Yeah.
Not like some parts, not like thumbnail pieces.
No, some parts were like that.
Yep.
I've gone and scratched myself.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on there, bro?
Right. Anyway, you can't see it. It just got the crowbar, or the bird sheep noise, as some people call it, and just smashed it all up in the barrel, and that was it.
And then just kind of like
it's supposed to look like a white sandy beach with a few little flecks and stuff through it. So
you don't want to overdo it with the glass.
No. But it's just another one of those things with concrete. It's just one of those products. It's limitless in terms of size, shape, color. It's pretty cool.
Have you ever done anything that didn't work? Like, and I'm not saying like slabs that just set too quickly, but like, I don't know, tried to make a statue or something and you're just like, no, that didn't work.
No, my first barbecue bench in my own house didn't work. That got ripped out and redone.
This is your first, as in Victoria. But this is the first time you've ever tried to do it.
Yes. Yeah. And I was like, oh man, it's cost me all this money, and then I pull it out, and then redo it, and it's like, no one would ever price to do a job twice doing the when you're doing concrete.
Well, you can't, right? It's pretty expensive as it is.
That's right. And then as soon as you just charge to, maybe do it twice, you're not getting the job. So that was the whole idea of
doing your
own.
The
course as well was just like, people can learn and get the results first time 100%, no issue.
Because the 6 to 10 key learnings are in that course. So don't do this. Do this.
100%. Yeah.
Do you find like my bench at home's got a real sharp edge?
Yep.
Is that something that do you avoid? Is that you don't care? It's just whatever the client wants?
It's just whatever the client wants. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things you can, with the tools available, you can certainly round that off or hone it back or yeah.
You're obviously working in Byron and the Gold Coast. You would have probably come across some high profile jobs. Are there any jobs that I guess that you've done that you're able to talk about for people that are, I guess, that have built a certain well-known building or a famous person? Like I'm guessing you've worked for people that you maybe can't talk about.
Oh yeah, on my first job when I got there was for Toot Miller, the captain of the Gold Coast Suns. So doing some work at his place. So that was pretty cool.
So you rolled up
to see
and just
someone
happened
else
to
who likes AFL.
Oh no shit, yeah, because you're up there, yeah.
So I was a St Kilda supporter, which I kept to myself. But
well,
yeah.
you probably keep that to yourself in Melbourne. No,
so true. But there's so many of us.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good. And then even from doing that job, sort of starting to go to the Gold Coast games and things like that. And
so they were your second team kind of thing.
Second team, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. But yeah, that was cool. And that was just sort of like the first step in the door up there. So it sort of helped, again, sort of cement that, the quality of work and stuff that we do.
Pun intended.
No pun intended.
So how did you find that job? Did you start advertising or it just came up?
It just came up, yeah.
That's
so
crazy.
I think it's through Instagram. So people have seen that we'd moved and things like
Yep.
that. Yeah, so.
How powerful is Instagram for your business? Like if you posted something like, I don't know, where I just had a cancellation, available to do a bench in 2 weeks. Is that are you getting messages like that or?
Well, I probably wouldn't put that up there. I mean, we had some massive dramas like 6 months ago because we had our whole account hacked and taken down. So it took us 6 months to get that back. So that was a scary time. So it was when interest rates just started every week going up.
That Instagram is that pivotal in your business.
Big time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it got hacked because you had a shitty password or it just got hacked?
Well, Meta never came to the party and told us exactly what it was. So couldn't get any.
Did you have 2-factor authentication set up at the time?
I don't believe I did.
This is a wife question.
I don't believe I did.
2-factor, guys. Get your 2-factor set up.
Get your 2-factor.
Yeah.
So,
especially if you've got 120,000 followers and it actually drives income to pay your mortgage and your kids' food and school and
it's pretty important.
Yeah.
So.
We don't have enough followers for me to care. No 2-factor. my personal Instagram's got like 300. No, it's probably better than that, but yeah. Please subscribe. So it's that big a deal.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's one of those things. I don't know if you're doing work where people. I mean, a lot of people see the stuff that we do, like with the lawns. It's like they see these beautiful lawns that are done, using the right product. So many people don't do it, and they've only got themselves to blame. It's like they've got so many people with crappy concrete that want to see good stuff,
And everyone's got access to the same materials, tools, products, that kind of thing. It's just they've chosen to either be undereducated around it or they're intentionally doing a shitty job, which is probably rare. I don't think anyone intentionally does shit.
No, definitely
They just
not.
don't know what they don't know.
That's right. So, and that was, the big part of trying to better an industry in a way. So,
do you ever and you don't have to answer this if it's confidential, but will you do like Black Friday sales on your courses and things like that? Yeah. So that'll be coming up.
That will be coming up.
Yep.
Yeah.
So don't spend money. I've just fucked up your whole runway.
I mean, you can.
Yeah, keep buying until then.
You can save some.
Yeah.
But no, of course, I think it's so important now with business, and if you're selling, it doesn't matter what you sell. Like if you're not doing things like that to keep the engagement and things like that, it's not going to work. You've really got to keep your audience engaged and have them stay so that, they're not going to miss that sale and things like that. I mean, it's become huge now. This Black Friday thing, I never knew it was
stupid.
A thing 10 years ago. So
we're
Cyber
deeply,
Monday and it's
mate. Well, it's not even so we've been working on. So Lawn Hub has a Black Friday sale once a year, which is a massive sale, as in the discount's great.
Is it a big Black Friday sale or is it?
Yeah, so we do 25% off.
Some people will get that. Some people won't.
But with my sprinkler on the thing, but we sell so much stuff and people wait for it. But we're doing some education with I guess an agency or a firm at the moment, and they're like, you need to start earlier. And we're seeing some of the other people that are involved starting their Black Friday on the 1st of November and running it till Cyber Monday is December 1 or December 2. It's fucking crazy, man. 30-day sale. Like, it's just stupid. And I get frustrated by it because I'm just like, it's not a sale if it goes for that long. Like, I feel like it needs to be a call to action. If you miss out, sucked in. Like, and then people will watch out for it next time.
Yeah.
Like we've our IT department sitting waiting for Black Friday. We buy our Adobe licenses. So for editing this, we buy our AutoCAD licenses for our irrigation design department. Any new computer screens, like we got a massive list of shit.
Yeah.
All to go on that Black Friday, Cyber Monday.
Yeah.
And we wait for it.
Yeah.
These guys are fucking, it's 50% off for, I don't know, what do you reckon? We'll do a month, 2 months? Like, why not just not have it, just have it 50% off all the time, which is obviously the supermarket model. But that's okay. So that'll come up towards the end of the month. And I'll be interested to talk to you a bit about that off camera, about, I guess, how you're funneling that traffic and if you're running any paid ads to it. Because with a digital product like that, have you got any affiliates selling it? Like other people selling the course for you? I'll introduce you to some people, like, because with a course, obviously once you've made it, right? I know some guys that work on course sales and SEO the affiliate, generally you have to give away, say 50% of the value of the course for someone else to sell it. But then all of a sudden you got someone selling 100 a month or what, I don't know what the number would be for something. Yours is quite niche, but it's not too niche, right? Like, could be really interesting. Are you updating the course, like, or I guess updating the information as things come to light, or it's basically?
It's more the course is there, but it's more, it's once you get into those private Facebook groups where, people that, who haven't even touched concrete before are putting a photo up of a beautiful concrete bench that they've done, and they're just so proud, and they'll get on the phone, they'll give me a call, and they'll be like, oh, thanks so much for the call.
Yeah, and they've got access to you as well.
That's the other thing too, and it's funny because a lot of people will call me and they're just stoked that they can just get direct answers straight away, troubleshoot any ideas or, problems that they've had, and just work to,
So one of your kids comes to you and says, Dad, I want to follow in your footsteps. I'm going to do a stint at Coles, but then I'm going to come work doing house slabs. Nah, because of the kids or because of you? Or you just know they're not going down that pathway?
I don't think they'll go down that pathway. I mean, I was 1 of 9, right? So I didn't have a lot of, my parents was just spread so
their attention would have been,
so it was pretty tricky. Whereas, this whole move has been to focus on the children, spending time with them, getting them into good education, and things like that. So hopefully
they don't go down that path, because
I can just be the old man, like making them a nice little concrete bench top, in their nice property somewhere.
Little concrete bassinet for your grandkids.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I haven't made one of them before.
So what if? What is the weirdest request you've had? I guess green glass, and that's not crazy, but you haven't made any tombs or is it sarcophagus?
No, I haven't made a coffin or anything. No. Yeah, Japanese soaking bathtub was pretty good. We did one of those, and that was pretty intricate because all the formwork that was in it, you can only fit your whole body in it, so you got to pull all that out and try and trowel it. And you almost have to be
suspended.
It was
from a crane and just kind of get in there.
It was really tricky, but that's probably been the most intricate, fiddly one that's been a bit of a challenge. So, but no.
You ever been involved in pool? Like forming up the concrete on pools, not forming up, but actually doing the concrete on swimming pools, like blowing in concrete on pools.
No, none of the shotcrete stuff. I've got a couple of mates that do that, and that's another league in its own. That stuff, that's crazy.
As in, you don't think you could just step into it? Like, you'd really need to go.
You'd have to go and
earn your stripes.
Be the bloke holding the board, just getting absolutely peppered with concrete. Start there and then work your way into being the bloke on the hose and then the guy on the trowels and things like that.
One of the things, so Anthony from Elite Pools, and I talk a fair bit. And I messaged him this morning. I'm like, hey, what beers do concreters drink? Because he drinks Melbourne Bitter when he's with his concreters, like when he's with his boys. And I'm like, that's fucking ridiculous.
Animal.
And I'm like, do you think Ollie would drink that? Because I wanted to bring some beers and I just ran out of time. And he's like, yeah, man, he's a concreter. He'll drink anything. There's obviously I guess a stigma or an urban legend that concreters are, drinking in the morning.
Yeah.
Did you find that?
Oh, big time.
Back in the day? It's still
massive. Like people drinking 101 hot turkey cans or Woodstocks in their cars before work. I mean, I've been guilty. I've been forced. I've been told, come on, just have one, mate.
What is it? 1 before 10 or 10 before 1?
A little bit of that, I think. But I only drink 4X Gold now, mate.
Oh, because you live up there.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much water where you are.
Or Stone and Wood.
Yeah, true. Yeah. No, I'd be choosing that over the 4X Gold. If people were, like, if you had a friend whose child was, like, keen to get into concrete now, or they're like, look, he's been following what you've been doing. Have you got staff working for you now?
Yeah.
Yep. So you've got people there. Would you take on apprentices, or like you're kind of not interested in that state? Like,
yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's just if that's going to suit them. I mean, it's more one of those things. There's no point starting it if you don't want to have a career in it. I mean, some people just want to give stuff a go, but I seem to find that it's more. It doesn't go from apprentice to thinger. I think it's more concreters, builders, people who have they just want to start picking it up. They've already qualified.
So they want to go from the functional to the artistic kind of thing and move across to artistic.
Yeah, and be able to not be putting down 100 cubic meters of concrete at a time or whatever, and focus. Doing a really nice 1 cubic meter pour, or in Rob's case, I think it's 3 cubic meters tomorrow for his project. I think it's one of the biggest concrete benches I've ever seen. So
no shit.
Yeah. It's going to be pretty epic.
Yeah, I've seen some of his stuff. He's definitely likes to test the boundaries of design and what can be possible. And he's been really interested in concrete for as long as I can remember him. I remember looking at sites that he's done through Medindi. And I think, did you do that job over here?
Yeah.
You did that job at Medindi?
That was really cool.
I remember that's when I first met you.
Yeah.
On that site.
Yeah.
There was concrete everywhere.
I probably still had blonde tips in my hair then.
Maybe. I don't know. I used to have blonde tips in my hair. I reckon we'd be able to find some photos.
It's coming back.
Is it coming back?
Coming back.
All right. Well, so's perms. I got a haircut today, and the dude had a perm and blonde tips. Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and he was Islander as well, so full Islander tattoos with fucking. I was like, different. That's definitely hadn't seen blonde tips in permed dark black hair, but it worked. I thought it looked great. Shout out to that guy. But do you think you'll travel? Like, obviously Rob's used you. Like, if someone else calls you up and goes, hey, we want to fly you in for, I don't know, a day or two to be the final touch consultant, whatever, is that stuff that interests you? I mean, it means that you're not with your family for those days.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something I'd be doing.
You don't want to do it all the time.
Every week or something, but yeah, every couple of months or whatever is fine. And it just depends. It's like anything. You do go wherever.
Ask the question and you find out the answer kind of thing.
Yeah. It's always good. It's good to be able to give someone that reassurance that all that work. I mean, Rob's put in days and days of work into
on
building
the form
this
work.
bench, on all the form work, let alone going to and fro with the client with design and, all that sort of stuff. So it's probably been a 6-month process. So, it all comes down to this one day tomorrow, right? And then, we'll just get it poured and hopefully we can be cracking a couple of cold ones.
And you fly, because then you can go out for dinner, fly home Saturday.
Yeah.
Happy days. How far booked up are you? Like, is this kind of work something that you're almost just a month at a time kind of thing? Or
yeah, I think like any tradie, you sort of you've got to pivot. A lot of people go, I want you here at this date, and then all of a sudden, we've had some pretty bad rains up there, and things just get pushed back. So there's always jobs in the pipeline.
So you have multiple jobs going at the same time?
Yeah.
Like, because I guess, without it sounding too disrespectful, like a bench might be 3 days or 4 days?
Yeah, 3 or 4 days. Yeah, got to let it cure and then come back and polish it and seal it and stuff.
And so you could go to another one while you're doing that.
Yeah, you sort of just flip them over. But like anything, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. I mean, the people who yell the loudest and want you there the most, you generally just try and get them done with as quick as possible. And
just clip that and post that on Instagram. Yeah, every client's just like, hey, I saw on your podcast that you want us to be loud and ring you all the time. Like, no, that wasn't me.
It's not just the chairs that squeak.
Yeah, I listened to a podcast, PBD podcast, and they've got this squeak in one of their chairs, and I don't know how to get. I'm just DM them or something, but like they also have. I think he's probably got 5 million followers, so I'm not getting through. Like you know how probably hard it is to manage the 120 that you've got. But I hear it and I'm like, someone's got to do that chair. Someone's got to do that chair. This is we threw this together. Like I haven't done a full landscape for a long time. How long has it been? A year. Ugh. And I love doing this, and I'd love to do it all the time. But I don't like Joel's really comfortable doing his podcast via Teams and Zoom and whatever he uses. I just can't. I like the idea of
it's awesome.
Sitting
the one-on-one
together and
stuff's fantastic.
And like the good thing is like tonight we'll go out for dinner. You kind of like you get to actually really get to know someone, so you get to have a good conversation.
Yeah.
And then afterwards you're like, oh hey, here's my contact for this, or
it's a great way to network.
Well, you're going to meet. I don't know. There's going to be guys. There's 10 or 12 guys coming for dinner, so you'll meet. You probably know some of them already, but like Jason from Jurgen.
Yep.
So he's done some crazy concrete stuff as well.
Yeah.
Do you have much interaction with him?
I think I met him last time. He was my golf partner, I believe.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. So he would have been drunk and probably not as interested as interested in golf as you.
I think I was the most least interested in golf. I was more about driving the buggy. Which was pretty cool. My golf game is terrible. There's some things that I'll stick. I think golf's somewhat.
It's just like a fenced off area for adults to drive around in and act like children and get drunk without having any recourse or ramifications for the behaviour. And sometimes if they hit balls while they're doing it, then that's good too.
I tell you what, I did have fun. I went to Top Golf in the Gold Coast, up where the theme parks are, a couple of months ago, and that was awesome.
We were up there with our kids. We've got 3 kids as well. And we went there, and my youngest are twins. They're 7 now. So they're old enough that, Top Golf is the thing. So we went to the Movie World, Sea World. I think we were avoiding Dream World. It's still pretty fresh, that rollover.
Too soon.
Too soon. We didn't know them. And Top Golf. And then on the last day, I'm like, look, you guys, is there anything you want to do again? And all of them, Top Golf.
Yeah,
more so than Movie World and Sea World.
Yeah,
like, we want to go to Top Golf.
See, I just reckon
fucking loved it.
Yeah, I reckon it's one of those things that will churn out so many people to start playing golf because it's fun and it's interactive and
it's interesting. Cool Top Golf is as fun and as interactive as playing golf in America, but not Australia. Like you go play golf in America, and this is from a very small sample size of my experience, but going and playing, like the golf courses are. There's drinks carts around all the time. They've got magnetized speakers on their carts. They're all listening to music. Like it's more fun.
More of a
here. It's so fucking stick up your ass, like pretentious. There'll be a food and drinks cart that comes around once every 2 rounds, and you're like, oh yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
And they're not playing music. I just feel like golf needs to evolve in Australia to be more in line with that Top Golf. Like because I mean, and look, maybe they need to have serious courses and not serious courses.
Good point.
Right. And maybe just, and I think Glenelg's done a good job of that. This is probably, I think we played at Glenelg actually. They've gone a little bit not looser. There's still all the etiquette's there and everyone's wearing collared shirts and everyone's shaking hands and doing the right thing. But it's just a little bit more focused on the consumer enjoying themselves as a whole rather than just playing golf.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's going to fade. But so if you like Top Golf, playing golf in the US is kind of like that. Like it's just a little bit looser and yeah, we'll just fly over there. I'll introduce you to these affiliate marketing people. They'll sell you courses. Then you have to fly over there and meet them. We'll go to Texas, play some golf, have some barbecue, and come back. It'll be easy.
Sign me up.
So if people are interested in the course, I guess go your Instagram.
Yeah, it's just generally the main platform. So yeah, just Hungry Wolf Studio. Type that in. We've got Facebook as well, or just the website info@hungrywolf. Or email info@hungrywolfstudio.com.au.
One thing that I was thinking of before that I forgot to ask. At no point did you ever start dabbling in landscaping as a whole?
Well, I did because when I was renovating my properties, it was always the architectural concrete stuff. It just goes so well in landscape. And that was one of the things that sort of definitely propelled my business was people like Steve from Cos Design, Ian Barker, you know, all these big time landscape designers that were sort of, you know, getting you to do the work. You know, they're putting it in there. They're specifying you.
Like it's not just a concrete bench; it must be built by Hungry Wolf.
Well, yeah, that's right. To get that finish that they want. So, you know, their designs and everything, but just to get that actual finish, you know, they'd specify specific concreters to get what they wanted out of it. So yeah, it was good. It was a massive stepping stone for Hungry Wolf Studio to be able to.
It's such a perfect example of if you do the right thing and you do it well, the world will eventually recognize it.
Yeah.
You know, like you just have to keep rocking up and doing a good job.
Yeah.
And then they'll like, no, that's the guy.
Yeah.
Right.
And if anyone knows me or has worked for me, they know I'm an absolute OCD clean freak. So that is a massive thing to have, especially with concrete. I mean, you can make a huge mess doing that. But I try and generally leave the sites that I'm on cleaner than what they were when I, you know, got there, because the one thing that the client's going to look at is all the mess. Yeah, you've done this awesome, cool concrete bench, but if you've left a pigsty and shit everywhere,
then you're an electrician.
then that's right.
It blows my mind.
I like that.
Those fucking ends of cables, just throwing them everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, literally on purpose too. Like, just cut a bit more off and then a bit more. It's like they're cutting chives or something, and then just kicking them under your couch so you find them in 6 months.
Shout out to all the electricians that just unfollowed us. True. Anyway, we better get out of here. You got to get checked in. Have you checked in yet?
No.
So we'll get you. That gives you some time to get back there, and then Rob can pick you up. We'll go have some dinner. Thank you so much for doing this. It's taken 2 years to kind of get to that point of actually doing it.
Yeah.
We were talking about doing a podcast, I think, when he was still living in Victoria.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, yeah, we'll do it. And then I was going to fly up. This will fucking piss you off. We were going to fly up to do the podcast at his place. And Dylan loves Queensland as well. So
good man.
Yeah,
you're only human.
We're playing with the idea of either somehow working out a way that we all go, or Dylan's role evolves into a Brisbane-based role at some point. But yeah,
tell you what, it's a lot of lawn up there.
Well, Waterpro Brisbane is the next store on my mind, and Lawn Hub in that part of the world. So Queensland's our biggest market, followed by it dances now, but it's regularly our biggest market, followed by New South Wales and Victoria. So
Lawn Hub on the Gold Coast would be pretty good. You should get yourself a store in Carville Avenue.
Oh God, fuck! Imagine that. No. But we in Brisbane, for us to have a Waterpro in Brizzy, I've got a site that I like. It's actually an existing irrigation shop that I just have to go contact them and go, hey, do you want to sell your shop? But to then have an arm, like have an orange and blue kind of building, and so I've got a vision of how I want it to look. But anyway, that's not for now. We better get out of here. Thank you so much for coming down and doing this.
No problem, Clint.
And then I guess for those of you watching in 12 months, there'll be another podcast. All right, let's get out of here.
All right, see ya.